So what kind of diet are you on? Is something I hear a lot, especially when dining out with others. My response, usually the same. It's not a diet. I just like eating healthy so I feel good. I've always believed that people know what foods are bad for them. Cakes, cookies, hot dogs, other highly processed foods are okay probably once in a while, but should be treats rather than the norm to prevent disease. Now, while I believe that most people know what not to emphasize in their diets, I'm not so sure they know what to emphasize, especially with all the fad diets around. Now, to help you develop healthy eating habits, I'd like to share with you a simple 5-step eating plan. Now, while this approach doesn't take into account all the individual variations, I think it's a great place to start in adopting a sound diet. For our purposes, a sound diet is one that adequately supports an active lifestyle while preventing disease. Step 1, find out how much daily protein you need. This depends on many things, such as activity level and carbohydrate intake. For example, the more active you are and fewer carbohydrates you eat, the more protein you're going to need to help reduce water and muscle loss. For my own protein recommendation here, I assume that you are working out at least 5 days a week. Now, the amount of daily protein that you need is controversial, with sources ranging anywhere from 0.5 grams per kilogram of desired body weight up to 2 grams per pound of desired body weight. You should not eat too much protein, as kidney damage can occur. So I recommend a 0.8 gram per pound of body weight that you want to weigh. Therefore, if you want to weigh 200 pounds, I recommend about 160 grams of protein a day. Just how much protein is 160 grams? My palm represents about 40 grams of protein. Instead of eating my hand, I'm going to get my protein from other places, which leads us to the next step. Step 2, choose your protein sources wisely. Now, not all protein is created equally. Protein quality varies based on the ability of the body to absorb and use it for growth. Now, I recommend choosing protein sources that are not just high in quality, but low in saturated fat and cholesterol. This is to maximize your body's ability to use it while minimizing dietary-related diseases such as obesity and type 2 diabetes. Therefore, I recommend high-quality protein sources such as chicken breast, turkey breast, low-fat cottage cheese, egg whites, fish, beans, tofu, soy, and low-fat milk. Now, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, I strongly recommend seeing a registered dietitian for professional guidance. Step 3, know how many meals you're going to eat every day. Now, your recommended number of daily meals is based on your protein need. So if you're a female, divide your daily protein need by 25 because you can absorb about 25 grams of protein per meal. Divide by 40 if you're a guy. Step 4, choose your carbohydrate sources. Now, the low-carb lifestyle was popularized by the Atkins diet, which the low-carb approach has since fallen by the wayside and given way to what dietitians have been telling people for years. Eat fruits, vegetables, whole grains every day for good health. Now, one shortcoming of the low-carb assumption is that carbohydrates and dairy products should be avoided. For decades, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, they've been shown to provide much-needed fiber, which can help prevent various forms of cancer and support an active lifestyle. Therefore, at each meal, I recommend that you include a good, quote-unquote, carbohydrate source with your protein. Unfortunately, there isn't an established RDA for carbohydrate intake, so I recommend simply maintaining an approximate 1-to-1 ratio between protein and carbohydrates at each meal. In other words, if you have a palm size worth of grilled chicken breast, combine it with a palm size worth of vegetables, brown rice, or whole grain bread, something like that. And step 5, don't forget the little things. For example, you need good fat to be healthy. So every day, try eating a handful of almonds, peanuts, or walnuts, something like that, or cook a meal with a little bit of canola or olive oil. Water's huge in order to help the body burn fat and prevent dehydration. So drink at least 8 to 9 8-ounce glasses of water per day and limit your soda intake. Of course, always eat breakfast. Take your food with you to work by preparing your food in advance. And finally, plan your so-called 1 or 2 not so healthy meals in advance each week. By doing so, you're planning for success. Before starting to change your eating habits, try this. Tell all of your friends, family, coworkers, everybody, you're on a mission to improve your eating habits, and you need their support to succeed. This can work wonders and can really motivate you. Dr. Puzis is back with me today. How you doing, Doc?
Great, thank you.
Now, Dr. Puzis is an orthopedic surgeon here in Portland, Oregon, and Dr. Puzis actually has been exercising since...
Age 14.
Well, since he was 14, so that's quite a while, because he's 28 now. Well, no.
63.
63 now, so that's quite a while. Now, as far as doing the bike, this is one of the easiest cardiovascular exercises to do because you are sitting down, but you do want to make sure of a few things. The first thing is you want to make sure that the seat is adjusted at the right height, and notice when he comes down and straightens the knee, his pelvis is still, very still, which is great, and he has a slight bend to his knee down here. So he's not having to reach over with his leg and move his pelvis to reach the pedal. So this is perfect as far as that goes. He's also not getting sloppy with his posture. A lot of times when people do this, they'll lean over, and this can actually cause postural problems, breathing issues, shoulder problems. So you don't want to get sloppy with your posture on this. This is different for people that are doing the Tour de France or something like that, where they're actually doing speed racing and long-term biking. So this is great exercise. Just make sure you get the preliminaries right. Thanks, Doc.